quick review what we did last class. We created a class, and as of now inside class how to define data member called variable, and how to define function, and how to define constructor that we saw. But in constructor there are a couple of more things to know about, so we'll continue today. What else need to know about constructor? So when we say constructor, it is initializing the data. In a single quick answer, if you'll say what is constructor, then you have to say constructor is like a function that is used for initializing the data. So we will see today what are different categories or types of constructor. So types of constructor. The base knowledge what you got yesterday to define a constructor is same only, but little variety. Okay, you can say one variety is called default constructor, and another type is called parameterized constructor. So as the name says, default means the default value initializer. What do you mean? Default value means the moment you create the object, what value you want. That is called default value. So the moment you create object without manually entering any value, initialize some default value. Like I will say, okay, tomorrow I'll ask what is the name of the employee, what is the salary, but today you give it 0 and blank like that. That kind of value is called default value, and default constructor is without having any parameter. That means whatever constructor yesterday we used, as per the definition, we can say it is a default constructor. But what is parameterized constructor then? Parameterized constructor is a constructor that has parameter. Very simple understanding. One or more parameter. Parameter means within that bracket sometimes you mention some argument, right? That is called parameter. So a constructor that has one or more parameter supplied by user from main. So let's see how both are really practically differentiating each other. So yesterday whatever constructor we saw, we can name it as a default constructor because it doesn't have any parameter. Can you see here? This is the constructor. I hope all of you are able to see my screen. I have shared it, right? So this is the constructor. This is the bracket, open bracket, close bracket, and I have 0 argument. If by chance I will have some parameter like this, integer a1, comma string a2, comma decimal, or integer a3. So this is called parameter. So when exactly we need this parameter? If we want to send something from main. Can you see here arrow, some red color underline? It is saying, hey, your constructor is having some parameter, but we are not passing it here. So if you want to pass something from main to this constructor, because it's like a function, if function can have parameter, if function can sometimes have parameter like integer x and so, then why not my constructor? So sometimes we may supply some input parameter to constructor also. So if that is the case, then you need to define a separate constructor. So now what I will do, I will not disturb this. I will say, okay, as long as main is not supplying any value, this class will understand whatever user is entering. Or maybe you will say directly I will give some value here, maybe employee ID equal to something and employee name equal to something, which is called default value, like this, employee ID equal to 101 and name is equal to, let's say, this. That means what is this called? This is called default value. As long as main function has not sent any specific value. Sometimes it may be 0 and blank also. It may be 0 and string.empty also. It depends upon your requirement. Imagine your company is suggesting as long as user has not put his user ID and password, take it some administration's user ID and password, then that will be the default value. They will say no, as long as user is not entering employee ID and name, you don't consider from your own. You take it 0 and blank, then it's the value. So sometimes it may be null also. So it depends. Suppose we decided as long as user is not entering, employee ID is 100 and employee name is suppose Amit. That is also possible. So this is called default constructor. Because main has not yet sent any value, this class has default value. That will be helpful by default constructor. Now second case is main wants to send some value. It is dead sure that this obj1 or objemp1 is made for one guy whose name is Sumit and his roll number, employee ID is 1001 or 1002, like that suppose. Then that will be supplied from here. So let's see. I will define one more constructor called public employee. Here I will have two parameters like this: integer I for ID, and string n for name. In fact, that is also constructor, this is also constructor, no doubt about it. But that constructor is for setting up a default value, and this constructor is for setting up that value what my main is supplying. Suppose main supplied that okay, this object is for 103 employee ID and his name is AAA. And this guy said second employee object, this guy is having employee ID 105 and his name is BBB. Make sense? So we can supply from here within bracket. So whatever you supply within the bracket, it will go and sit in the respective sequentially same parameters. Now if you will do it little wrong, like you made it like this, first you made string, after that you made it integer, then it will be a problem. It will say, hey, I don't find any constructor like that where first is integer, second is string. Are you missing something? So your sequence should be same as your supplied data. Okay. So here that 103 in first line will comment it here into I, and this name called AAA will comment it in N. Now what will happen? You have to supply that EMP ID. You have to supply that I to EMP ID and N to EMP name. This is called default value, that's why default constructor, and this is called supplied value through parameter, that's why it is called parameterized constructor. Now let's see use of both of them. What I will do, first I will create this object and suddenly I will call this function. I have called it, you can see. Okay, I have called it. For second guy also I am creating the object and calling it. For first guy I will not pass any value, but for second guy I will pass some value just to see the difference. So as per our understanding, in this line it should go to default constructor, because we are not supplying any value means it will take the default value. sometimes that happens, right? Suppose you are going to one bank, okay, you want to create one account in the bank, you want to open one account. They gave a form to you. In that form, some fields will be there named as optional. For example, office address. Why? If you are working, then office address only will give. Otherwise, you have to leave it blank, right? So you don't fill it. So whenever you don't fill it, that is called as default value. So they will take default value as your home address, something like that. Suppose guardian's name. They say it is optional. That's why you didn't supply or didn't fill that form. Guardian name, you left it blank. Just like this, line number 9. I left blank employee ID and name. Similarly, in that form, while creating the bank account, you said guardian name is blank because you have father's name here. Why you need guardian name? So what they will enter in the database against guardian name? Same father's name, they may take it to guardian name. So that kind of situation, usually default constructor is used whenever something is optional to enter. If something is mandatory to enter, they will say, hey, you have to enter this. That value will be taken and kept in the database or so. Little relating with the real time so that you can understand when default constructor should be used and when parameterized constructor should be used. So in the second guy, I supplied the value. That means my understanding is in this particular function called display employee data, line number 16, here it should display me whatever I supplied. But here, if I will say obj emp1 dot something, it should give me the default value. So if you are calling this function somewhere here also, like this, then also no problem. It will give you, what I will do is, I will create both the objects at the top. All these things I'm deleting because already in yesterday's version you understood all these things. So today I'm creating two objects. One is taking argument and one is taking blank as argument. That means we have not entered anything for first guy. So we are assuming in this line it should display default values, and in this line we are assuming it should display supplied values. Okay, so real-time usage, whenever anything is optional, then take a default value for that, and whenever anything is mandatory, take that value from the user. So in that area, when we will learn database connectivity with some ASP.NET form, etc., that time this concept you will be using there. So something is optional value to enter, something is mandatory value to enter. So here I said for second employee it is mandatory to enter, so I gave, while creating the object, the supplied value. But for first employee, understand that is CEO of the company or so. We thought that okay, default value we might have given that CEO name and CEO employee ID. So if somebody is not entering, we will take it as that level of administration level of guy. So we will not make it mandatory for that guy. So let's see whether what we are understanding it is happening that way or not. In this line, default constructor should be called. And in this line, parameterized constructor should be called. Just put a breakpoint here to understand really what we are understanding, it is correct or not. Okay, so anybody is there in the waiting room? All right. So I will run the application with the debug mode. I put the breakpoint in the extremely first line, and I'm expecting it should go to default constructor, and second line I'm expecting it should go to parameterized constructor. I will press F11. Have a look. It came to default constructor. I have two constructor, but it came to default constructor, and it's applied. If you see, as of now, employee ID and employee name, these are all 0 and null because you have not yet supplied any value. Now after these two lines execution, if you see, employee ID got 100 and employee name got Amit. We assume that this is administrator's name and administrator's employee ID, which is optional to enter. So I didn't enter. By default, it took 100 and Amit. Then it come back to main function. So as of now, if you take the mouse to obj emp1, you will see 100 and Amit has been stored inside that object. Okay, that means if I will show this in Excel sheet for better understanding, I can say it created one object now in the random access memory. Suppose this is your object, and that object name is obj emp1. Inside this, it created one location, named as employee ID, and it stored here 100, and it created one more location called, I'll give different color for this. So it created one more location called say emp name, and here it's stored as Amit. So whatever you are doing here, there you understand it like this in your conceptualization. So inside one object called obj1, I will give a border to this so that you can understand this is a complete object. So obj emp1 became the object name, and inside that it stored two data called emp id and emp name. Line number 1 is done. Line number 9. Now it is coming to line number 10. So in line number 10, we said this is not admin guy, it may be staff, common staff. If common staff is logging in, we don't want to take any default value. His mandatory, for him it is mandatory to supply his employee ID and employee name. Suppose you can consider it just like user ID password. Okay, so he supplied, okay, my employee ID is 105 and my name is BBB. Please allow me to go inside the application. So F11, have a look where it came. It came to constructor. Obviously, whenever you create the object, it will come to constructor, but it didn't come to the default constructor. It came to the parameterized constructor. So in parameterized constructor, if you'll see, your I value become 105 and n value become BBB, because that is the way we have supplied here. Can you see? 105 is the first argument, second argument is BBB. So then it will collect those employee ID and employee name, then it will supply it to respective employee ID and employee name of the employee class. So then go for F10. Now you see what is happening to EMP2 or obj EMP2. That means inside obj EMP2, it created 105 and BBB, but it didn't disturb obj EMP1. If you will take your mouse to obj EMP1, you will still see 100 and Amit. That means it is creating one more location called obj EMP2, something like this. Say this is one more object, this is one more object, and this is having two more variable almost similar to this. I'll copy paste it here. Two more variables here it has. One is employee ID and one is employee name. And but this time it didn't give any default value. Rather it collected from main, that is 105 and BBB, and that it assigned here. So instead of 100, it became 105, and here instead of Amit, it became BBB. This is the best thing to understand what is happening internally. I'm giving it white color so that it will be better visible to you. So this name is obj emp2. Indirectly saying there are two guys now came to application. First guy has been offered obj emp1. Because he is one admin guy, so we supplied default value to him. And because second guy is one common staff, we took his employee ID and his employee name, and then we allowed him to application. Now display obj emp1 detail and then display obj emp2 detail. See what happens. So as of now nothing is there in the output window. You can see I press F11 here, line number 13, it came here. Now what will be the emp name and emp ID? Because I have called this function with the help of obj1 or obj emp1, so obviously it will fetch it from first one, and when it will fetch from first one, it will get the default value called 100 and Amit. That is what it is getting here. Emp name is Amit and emp ID is 100. Before this chapter, whenever you are doing this kind of operation using variable, don't you think that 100 was overwriting with 105? Amit was overwriting with BBB. Don't you think so? But now what happened? This guy is doing his work in his own way because he is one admin, so default value he utilized. But this guy also using the application in his own way with the help of his employee ID and his name. So two objects parallelly, we are collecting and utilizing it. So this time I came by fetching the value from object number 1 because it is written as obj1 dot something. Now it displayed for me administrator details because this time I called with the help of obj emp1. So have a look here, it gave me default values because I didn't enter anything from my own. But for second one, obj emp2, I have entered 105 and BBB. Explicitly I supplied from the main to that. If you want, you can ask user to enter also. Please enter your employee ID, please enter your name, then only I will allow you inside the application, something like that. So that you can supply also. I supplied hard coded data. You can ask user and supply also. I will tell you that also how to do. So here if I will press F11, now emp name will be the second object's data, that is BBB, and this is first employee's data 105. Then it will display say that second employee detail and it will come out of the program now. So overall idea what you got here, whenever data is not mandatory to enter, use the default constructor. So that default value will be taken. When data is mandatory to enter in real-time application, you must use parameterized constructor so that whatever user is entering, imagine user is entering here like this, console.writeLine, console.readLine, that is also fine. So you can say console.writeLine, enter your employee ID, then you can say integer e equal to or ei employee ID equal to console.readLine. Similarly, console.writeLine, enter name, and here to say string n for name suppose equal to console.readLine. So this time instead of passing 105 and BBB, I will pass EI and here N. Make sense? So for one guy I didn't supply anything, which one is that, line number 9, and for other guy line number 17 I supplied data. So whenever you don't supply any data while creating the object, it will automatically call default constructor, and when you supply any data while creating the object, it will search is there any parameterized constructor of that sequence. Sequence is important, guys. Here if it is integer comma string, there also it is supposed to be integer comma string. Alright, so this is about variety of constructor. Whenever this parameter what we are supplying, sometimes what happens, whatever you are supplying, that supplied parameter itself is a class type. Class type means I don't want to supply in separate like this integer, string, comma this, comma that. I want to supply directly one object of employee class. Okay, something like this. Public employee. Here I will say employee some obj. Have a look. This is also parameterized constructor. That is also parameterized constructor. Okay. Line number 42. This one also parameterized constructor. Line number 48. This is also parameterized constructor. But the difference is here how many data, that many comma you are writing. But here all data you are collecting in one go. Then how you will use it? Instead of saying employee ID equal to I, you have to say employee ID equal to obj dot employee ID. This one you have to say obj dot employee name. Usually whenever you have lot of parameters, okay, whenever you have lot of parameters, like today we have only 2. Suppose there are 20 parameter to be supplied from here, then it is not advisable comma 20 times. It is advisable to catch all those parameters through employee object, because after all those I, N, etc., those are all employee parameters, right? So you can get it through one object as a parameter. So how to pass it? This is called defining a parameterized constructor with class type. And whenever you define a constructor with class type, then class type parameter will say, then that is called copy constructor. So copy constructor is not a separate variety, it is under parameterized constructor only. Okay, that's why I didn't write here 3 types, 2 types only. But idea is, if you are supplying lot of parameter, then not a good idea to have comma so many parameters. You supply one object as a parameter from main. So I will tell you how to supply object as a parameter from here. So from that object it will collect the respective data and it will supply it to this. If I will supply like this, have a look. Same work what I did here, okay, same work what I did here, I passed straightway EI and N, right? This is good if the number of parameters is some 5 or 7 or 2 or 3, something like that. Imagine 20 parameter, I1, I2, I3, I4, like that. Suppose 20 parameter you are supplying, because really required parameters are much more. I just gave an example of creating a saving bank account, right? So when you fill a form in bank called saving bank account, how many data you fill? Do you fill just like 1 or 2 data like this, employee ID and employee name? No. Perhaps you fill something like 50 data, 20 data, 30 data, like that. Name, father's name, address, office address, mobile number, email address, alternate email address, passport number, so many data. So that time, don't you think supply of those data to the application will also be like A, B, C, D, like that. 20, 30 parameters, comma. And I will tell you, whenever these comma separated parameters are much more, the application will go slow. So this copy constructor concept what we are learning, this is only for performance improvement. I don't want to supply 10 data with comma, because whenever it is comma, what it happens, internally, it takes this EI, visits here, copies that EI to I, again comes back here, take this N, again goes back to this, copies this N to this N, and then again comes back here, takes some other thing, maybe 4, 5 parameter or 20 parameter. So 20 parameter means 20 times it will jump from here to here, again back from here to here, jump from here to here, back from here to here. So 20 into 2 equal to 40 times it jumped from here to there to here. That is the reason why it is not advisable to supply lot of parameters to the system through comma separated with the help of parameterized constructor. So they said, if that is the case, why don't you collect all these parameters into an object and supply that object as a parameter only. See how I am doing it here. This is approach number 1. I will take approach number, first approach is no parameter. Second approach is parameter with comma separated. Third approach I will take, let me write that so that you can understand. Approach 1, default value, because supplying value is not mandatory. Second approach I took, this is called approach number 2. Spelling mistake. Approach number 2, what is that? Supply some value because it's mandatory. Just like I said, you are filling a bank form, but values are mandatory. You have to supply it. But supply some value because it's mandatory, but we are supplying by comma separated parameters. This is approach number 2, which is not good if number of parameters are much more. I am creating now approach number 3. Supply parameter, definitely. It's mandatory. But I assume parameters are much more. Number of parameters are much more. That hampers application performance. Okay. Now slowly you are going matured, guys, in programming. That means you have to think from application performance also. No doubt what I am doing here in approach number 2, approach number 3 also exactly same technically. Requirement wise, here also I am supplying 2 parameter. There also I will supply 2 parameter, no issue. I assume that that is not 2, that is 20 or 30, something like that. But that approach is better than this approach from the performance point of view. But if it is less parameter, 2 to 3 parameter like that, then it's okay. Like currently we are supplying only 2 parameter, right? So here it is not advisable to go for approach number 3. But if you have so many parameter, comma, then you have to go for approach number 3. So here clearly I mentioned that parameter is mandatory. You are going to supply, but I assume number of parameters are much more, say 50 parameters, something like that. That hampers the performance. Then your approach should be like this. So something like this. you have already collected this, or if you want to ask user again, that's fine. You can ask again for the second employee. Then clearly you mention enter employee ID for second guy and other things is fine. Enter his name, enter the name. Similarly, I will copy paste it, and here I will say enter employee ID for third guy and his name. So here I will say E3, here I will say N3. It's okay. But this E3 and N3, I don't want to supply like this. You know, one way is employee something obj emp3 equal to new employee E3 comma N3. If I'm supplying like this, I assume it's a demerit because actually two parameter we are having, but I assume that there might be some 50 parameters or so, comma, 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 like that. That I'm assuming, because why unnecessary will waste time by really creating 10 to 20 parameter. You assume something I wrote here. Okay, you assume that there are 50 parameters we need to supply. Then second approach is not good. You should go for this third approach. So what this third approach is, I will not happy with this because I don't want to supply by comma, comma, comma. Rather, I will create one object separately and I will supply that object directly here. So I will say employee O1 or O3 I will say, because employee number 3, why not we will give emp3 equal to new employee. Then I will say emp3 dot employee ID. In that case you have to make it public because you want to access that. So I will make both of them public. That already I have told you. If you want to access directly, you have to make it public. So I said emp3 dot employee ID equal to, in fact directly you can write this. If you have already collected to a variable, you can write like this E3 and emp3 dot emp name equal to N3. That means supplying that. That is one way. Or what you do, this line you create here, object you create here, and directly you write this line here itself instead of taking two more extra variable, because we have to practice all good practices. So why unnecessary two extra variable? That is also waste of memory. So here I did it like this. Just compare approach number 1, approach number 2 and approach number 3 for better understanding. All three approaches using constructor only, but how we are using in approach number 1 and how you are using approach number 2, how you are using in approach number 3, and when to use first, when to use second, and when to use third. This is the detailed understanding of constructor. So first approach I used default constructor. Second approach I used simple parameterized constructor because I assume number of parameters is little less. But third approach, I am supplying directly the object as a parameter. Can you see emp3 I supplied as a parameter. Now if you have 20 things plugged into this emp3 also, no issue. In one go it will take those things from here and visit here and supply that emp3 copied into obj, and from obj I am collecting the data and supplying it to the respective variable. So if you will put a breakpoint here, now you can see where who is going, approach number 1, approach number 2 and approach number 3. So why not I will write this approach number 2 heading here. Okay, so now I'm running in a debug mode. See what happens. First line, line number 11, I assume it should go to default constructor because entering values are not mandatory. Not mandatory means optional to enter. So I didn't enter anything, suppose. Within bracket you can see blank. Then what will happen? It will suddenly go to default constructor. It will say, you are not entering, it's fine. If you are not entering anything, I assume that you are from the administrative category. So you don't need any employee ID and employee name to cross check and enter into the application. So it came here, then it supplied default value, employee ID as 100 and employee name as Amit. I assume that in our company, the administrator guy is Amit. Now see, the OBJ1 collected the data 100 and Amit. That means this one. In our Excel sheet, this one. Second is OBJMP2. Okay, OBJMP2. But for OBJMP2, we need to supply user defined data. That means entered data, because here it is mandatory to enter, I assume. So EI become second guy's employee ID, let's say 50, and his name is, let's say AAA. Okay, that means EI become 50, N become AAA, because this time it is mandatory to enter values for employee. He is not admin. So I supplied by comma separated, absolutely fine, because I assume the number of parameters is little less. F11, it will go to parameterized constructor. So I become 50, N become AAA. Now it will proceed further and supply that I and N to respective parameters. That means currently employee ID and employee name supplied to this OBJMP2 is, you can see 50 and AAA. Alright. So this is not disturbing OBJMP1. Can you see? Still OBJMP1 is having 100 and Amit. Now OBJMP2 become 50 and AAA. If I might not have supplied this data, then it could have taken again default value 100 and Amit. Step by step you get clear and proceed further. Approach number 3. That means one more guy came whose employee ID is different. So I asked, please enter your employee ID. Third guy's employee ID. Little spelling mistake in that sentence I have done. I will correct it. So employee ID, suppose I said this guy is having 57 as employee ID and name is say BBB. Like this I assume so many data is there. Employee name, father's name, home address, office address, email address, alternate email address, mobile number. You know, I assume that lot of data are there in this third case. Okay, repeating because I have really taken 2, but I'm asking you to assume we have lot of data. So whenever lot of data you want to supply, then second approach is not good. I assume around 20 to 30 data I entered here, and that I plugged into an object called EMP3, which is having all collection of data, 57, BBB, his employee ID, you know, his salary, his email ID, his mobile number, etc. Then I thought, since 20 to 30 data are going to be supplied, then second approach is not good, because second approach is having comma, 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 comma. If it is comma, comma, then every data will be separately take and copy, again come back, separately take and copy, again come back, and so on. So 20 data means 20 into 2, 40 times my compiler will come here to there to here, which is unnecessarily hampering the time. So before jumping to that class, called employee class. Why not I will collect all the data into a one object, and that object I will supply as a single parameter. That means, can I say all copy constructors are definitely parameterized constructor. So if I will say F11 here, you can see this is also parameterized constructor. This is also parameterized constructor. Because it is using class type, so we will say it as copy constructor because it is copying one object to another. So now what happened? I supplied here EMP object, EMP3 object. That EMP3 object will come and sit here. Then obj will collect all those data at a time. It will not come here, go there, come here, go there, come here, go there, because comma, comma, comma is not there. Only one parameter. So at a time, entire object will be copied from there and pasted here to obj. Not necessarily if you have EMP spelling here, EMP3, there also EMP3, not necessarily. It can be any name, but it will copy intelligently all the data from there to here. Now if you will take the mouse, even though I have not used employee ID, comma, employee name, comma, something, comma, something, but at a time all the data will be copied from there to here. Then as usual, I supplied it to the respective variable just like here. Okay. So traveling from main to employee class, I reduced. So when it will be beneficial for me? Only when number of parameters is much more. So everything I mentioned here as a hint also. Approach number 3, supply parameters because it's mandatory, but I assume that number of parameters are much more, something like 50 or 100. That's why we should take this third approach. But when you assume that values are sending value is mandatory, but number of parameters is very less, then you go for approach number 2. And when you think that sending the value itself is not mandatory, then go for approach number 1. Okay. So approach number 1 is using default constructor. Approach number 2 is using simple parameterized constructor, and approach number 3 is using copy constructor. So copy constructor is also a parameterized constructor, but all parameterized constructor are not copy constructor. So let me write that note here. All copy constructors are definitely parameterized constructor, but all parameterized constructors are not copy constructor. So now 3 objects are ready for us. This is having default values. This is having supplied values but comma separated one. This is having supplied values but supplied through an object. Yeah, any question? Correct. You are right. You are right. So for that we have property. Okay. So right after this, I'm going to teach you property. So that will solve your problem. Even it will provide you security, what you are concerned about, and it will also available all these good things. So you need not to make your variable as public. You can still keep it as private only, but you can do these things. So there is something called property. We'll go to that. Yeah. Yep. EMP3 will have one more copy of the same thing. You can say it is replica of something like this, but only thing is the way of supplying is little different. Okay, something like this. It created one more object like this. Here it becomes something like 50 in our case, right? We supplied employee ID 50 for second guy, and we supplied here AAA, and here we supplied BBB with 55 or something, or 57 I think. So it will be like this. If you understand it better, this will be BBB. Okay, so obviously how many people, that many object is required. Anyway, we have to do this only, MP3, but instead of supplying one by one, we supplied as a whole, as a group, something like that. I will give you an example. Suppose you want to collect some 10 books from me. Okay, you are some 1 kilometer away from me, your building, and you came to my building and you said, sir, give me one book. I gave you one book. Then you took it. After 1 hour, you again came and you said, sir, give me the second book. So 10 books, how much time it will take? And what you did is, second approach, you take, sir, do you have a bag? I said, okay, take this bag. You put all 10 books in that bag and you went with that bag, right? So from which point of view you got the benefit? Time consumption, right? So if you are getting some benefit from time consumption, definitely you are losing something also. What is that you are losing? At the source location, that means my building, you collected a bag and you spent some time to put those books into the bag also. Otherwise, for taking one book, you might have taken only 1 second, but for putting 10 books into that bag, you took 10 seconds. But 10 seconds extra time definitely you gave here, no problem. But you saved some 10 minutes or 20 minutes, right? So that is what the approach between, the comparison between second approach and third approach. Okay. Read and write means? Acha, console.write line. This is totally depend upon you. If you want to ask user to enter, can you see? I asked user to enter, please enter name, please enter this. Then you have to use this. If you want to hard coded, send the hard coded data, you can directly send also. Something like this. Suppose you don't want to use this, you can directly supply some hard coded data here. No need for console.write line. You can say, I'm sure that guy's name is BBB. So directly you supply here BBB. Okay. Possible. Sorry, not this one. This is integer. Suppose you are sure that that guy's employee ID is 57 and that guy's name is BBB. Then you can supply it like this. No issue. But if you want to ask user to enter, then you have to go for that. So let me do this way also. Here already we are asking user. So let's take another approach here, like directly giving the value. Possible. No issue. You can, if necessary. But thing is, if you are running this program 5 times also, this third guy's employee ID and employee name will be same only, 57 and BBB. You should understand that. Okay. So this is called hard coded data and that is called accepted data. So let me correct this little bit. I have done spelling mistake. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. So you want to send hard coded data instead of asking user to enter the data, right? So then this is the approach you can take. Core approach is same only. Core approach is same only. EMP3 object will, plugged the data. But only thing is you didn't ask user to enter. You directly gave the value. Okay. No. Actually, at the end, you will have only one object because you are copying that object into this. Okay. So no doubt you created one. After that, that's why it is called copy constructor. Na? So at the end, that object you created, but you copied it to obj mp3. That's why at the end, you will get only one object in the random access memory. Yes, it will be disposed. Okay. So at the end, you will get objmp3, it has been copied to that. So memory wise you will not lose much, but performance wise you are getting benefit. That's why this should be the better approach. But yes, if it is just 2 and 3, 2 and 3 variable, 2 and 3 parameter, I will rather suggest second approach. Why? As I said, creating one object, supplying the data into it, that also takes some time, right? So it has seen that if number of parameters is very less, third approach will sometimes take more time than second approach. Okay. So if it is very less parameter, you will never get benefit. But if it is something like 20, 30 or 100 parameters, then you should go for the third approach. Alright, so you guys have to practice this. I will now go to properties. There is something called property. Just now somebody asked me that can I expose that data in another class with read only? I mean, I want to make it private, but still I want to get it exposed there. What is the way? Answer is property. Very good feature actually. Going forward in your real-time project, I will tell you variables you will be using very less. 99% cases you will be using property. So property is also like a variable only, but that is helping a private member to be exposed outside. I'll tell you how. So definition is property is a data member, of course, like a variable only. The most important concept of encapsulation is property. Carefully listen. Constructor and all, it is said to be easy. Property understanding is very important. It's not difficult, but important. So carefully you see what is the problem behind not having property and what is the solution behind using property. Both points should be very much clear. So property somebody understand means he understood everything about encapsulations. I assume like that, because all other concepts property is already using. Variable, data member, constructor, function, everything. See what we are discussing here. First is problem scenario without having a property. Then we will see solution with having a property. So property is like a data member or like a variable, you can say, that provides facility to expose a data in 3 different ways. Acha, before going to this, if I will ask you variable simply, imagine you have no facility of property, you have only facility of variable. Suppose 2 ways of exposing, can I say? One is public, which will say fully accessed. Fully accessed means you can display it as well as you can modify it. Yesterday we saw the moment I made public, I was able to modify employee ID in other class. And second is private, meaning it's no access. We will come to this property definition later. First understand what's wrong with variable, so that we'll go for property. Very simple to understand. If you are making it public, it is giving full access. Full access means you can not only display that data but also modify that data. Imagine salary is the data. Take one example to understand better. Imagine salary is the data. You are employee and HR manager is exposing salary to you. because you need to know the salary, right? In payslip, you need to know the salary. So don't you think your HR manager exposes salary to you in a read-only manner? Don't you think? Read-only means you just see it, you cannot modify. Otherwise, you know, if you will give read as well as write permission to employee about salary, nobody will make it less than 10 digit. Okay, so you don't get the permission to modify the data called salary. But if you are taking variable called salary, unfortunately, either you are giving full access, that is somebody will see also, modify also, or if you are making it private, you are saying you cannot see also, you cannot modify also. What I will do, I will not disturb this existing solution because it's a fresh concept altogether. I will create a new solution for property instead of making it much complicated. Little techie topic, but if you will go for a systematical understanding, very simple. So let's create a separate solution. The moment object oriented programming you started means make sure you have started at techie things, not basic things. So you have to be ready for accepting new concepts. So I will name this program as project as using, or I will say encapsulation is the chapter name and underscore property is the concept name. Encapsulation underscore property, and this is September 2020. It's fine. Let's create it. Because that program has already got complicated after 2 constructor or 3 constructor. I don't want to disturb that. And here I want to create one more class. Say my class name is something like organization. And here I have some data like something called integer established year. That means when that organization got established. Something called organization name. Something called something like decimal. Let's take integer only. Total income. And say something called income tax. Out of this, you assume if somebody, getting the exposure of established year and organization name, not an issue. But if somebody is getting the exposure of total income and income tax, that is not appropriate. You assume like that. Imagine this is one outsider. Program class is an outsider. Why he will know what is the income tax of the company, organization. So something like that you are assuming. Okay. So I took 2 variety here. One variety is you can give the exposure, and another variety is you cannot give the exposure. I'm taking one more variety also at the top. I'm saying address, string, organization address. How 3 variety I will say. Establish year never changes, right? That means this one give exposure but should not be modified. Okay, these 2, something like that category. These 2 category I will say don't at all give exposure. Means somebody should not be able to display also. This one I want to give exposure. That means somebody can see it with both read as well as write permission. What do you mean? If by chance that company change the building, then address will be changed, right? But by changing the address, do you think establisher changed? No. So establisher and organization name same, but perhaps they relocated from one building to another. That's why I said address of the company, give it full permission, like somebody will be able to see as well as somebody able to modify if it necessary. But establisher and organization name, you give exposure, that means they should be able to display it, but they should not be able to modify it. So indirect understanding is that only. Should be able to display as well as modify. Okay. Display and modify both. Here I am saying display allowed, but modification not allowed. Every bit of knowledge you are getting in object-oriented programming should be towards security. So if you will read these three sentences, easily you can say we are going better towards security, data security. So here I said don't at all give exposure. That means not even display and not even modify. How to do, we will see, no problem. But the requirement you understood or not, that is important. Anybody there who didn't understand the requirement? Because here onwards, everything we are going something like real-time touch. So why don't you think like when customer is giving one order to you, you are listening, he is giving the order to you that my application should be in such a way that people should be able to see as well as modify the address if they are belongs to organization, and they should be able to see establisher and organization name, but they should not be able to modify them, and total income and income tax of the company inside the organization class mostly welcome, they can display and all, but outside the organization class they should not be even able to display, they should not be even able to modify. All are in same line, everybody understood the requirement at least. Now let's go for the solution. Imagine you have no idea about property because we have not started it. Obviously you don't have idea about property, you have only idea about variable. As a data member, you can see I declared variable only, all of them. Now you tell me how you will restrict it. If I am coming to main, because this time I am not going to jumping to property, actually I am discussing about problem scenario behind variable. So you tell me, here I came, I created object. How to create object? Organization obj equal to new organization. I will name it obj org, say 1, obj organization 1. Okay. Now tell me, if I will make all of them private, what will happen? If I will make all of them private, what will happen here? This obj org1 cannot at all access any of them. Are you agree? Can you see? Organization name, organization employee established here, nothing I am able to access here because all of them are private. If I made them public, suppose I am making it public, everything suppose I made it public, all the scenarios let's discuss, because you have only idea is private and public. So I made it public. One time I tried with private, I didn't get anything. For income tax and total income, it's good because we really don't want to give access, not even display, not even modify. We are happy for total income and income tax because they are private. But what about these three things? If I didn't use this public, do you think they will be exposed? No, right? Then you thought I will make these three things as public, these two things as private, because that is what clicking to my mind, because as per requirement they should not be get completely exposed, totally not even display. But these three guys, they should be at least exposed, but two are with read only manner, and one is read as well as write manner. So if you will make it public, don't you think all three of them, they will be having both permission? Have a look. I said not only you can display what is the value, say I have not used constructor or anything, suppose I can give direct value na here. Or if you already know constructor, why don't you give some constructor value like this, public something organization, directly some default value I'm giving, because we are not much bother about type of constructor, etc. We already understood. So I'm using just a default constructor, and I'm saying organization address is something, okay, say number 20, okay, second street, etc. something. Address is this. Establish year, let's say establish year is 2020 or 2018, okay. Organization name, let's say ABC Limited. Total income, say 9999. Income tax, say simply 111 or simply 11. This is the direct value, because our focus is towards variable versus property. I don't want to make much complicacy by using parameterized constructor and so on. I directly give some default value, and on default value only I want to work. So if I'm saying here console.writeLine, say obj org1 dot employee name, what is that, any one thing, say organization address, you are able to display, absolutely fine. Somebody says, okay, organization address I want to modify, organization address I want to modify, just I will copy paste this. It was 2nd Street, I want to make it 4th Street. The building has changed to 4th Street, number 7, 4th Street. Absolutely fine. It is allowing you. Public means what? Both allowed, read as well as write. So for my address, I have no problem. For my income tax and this, no problem. Because if somebody will try to use income tax, not even he will be able to display console.writeLine this dot income tax or so, total income. Can you see TOT income? It is saying no, you cannot use it. Okay, if you will copy paste from here also, it will say you cannot use it. Console.writeLine also not allowing, modification also not allowing, which is our requirement. We are absolutely fine with this. Now you think about these two guys, establish year and organization name. What is the requirement? You have to expose, but you should not allow the modification. Now what you will do for that? if I'm trying to modify obj org1 dot establish here, this is allowing me. If I'll try to modify obj org1 dot organization name, it is allowing me. Now the trouble is for these two things. Income tax and total income, it is not allowing, which is good for us because our requirement also says that. So let me write whatever I am speaking. Here it doesn't allow read, not even write. Now hope this read and write terminology slowly you are acquainted with. Read means allowing to display, write means allowing to modify. So here it doesn't allow read, not even write, which is good as per the requirement. Here also same. It is allowing both read as well as write, because, which is good again, which is good because we needed it. Make sense? If you see the requirement, give exposure both in read and write to organization address, and income tax and total income, no access at all, which is absolutely fine. We made it private and we made it public. Now what you suggest me for these two guys, established year and organization name? Will you suggest private? No. If you suggest private, it will say no, it is not even modifiable, not even accessible. Have a look. Not even modifiable, not even accessible. If you want to try to say console dot write line, whatever value you have, please display me. I don't want to modify. This will also say no. How can I use it? It is private. Similarly, if you try to display console dot write line obj organization 1 dot organization name, this will also say no, I will not allow you because it's private. So here we are almost reached to the problem scenario. That means making public, allowing both read and write, making private, not allowing even read, not allowing even, oh sorry, it should be here now. So making public, allowing fully both read as well as write, making private, not allowing anything, not even read, not even write. Still I have not gone to property, guys, because as I said, understanding the problem is half solution. So currently we are only discussing about if in industry property would have not been there, only variable might have been there, then what could be the issue? Like if you'll go to C++, there is nothing called property, guys. C++ is also object-oriented programming, but there is nothing called property. That means indirect understanding is how data point of view C++ is facing issue, so that they fixed it in C# with the help of property. So did you understand just by using variable what is the problem scenario? Anybody couldn't understand the problem behind only using variable? Please ask me. Almost everything we discussed in detail. Then if I will go to property, quickly you can understand. Within 2 minutes you will understand what you are not getting in variable, that you are going to get in property actually. So anybody there who could not understand the problem scenario behind using variable. Sangam, you have raised the hand. Are you talking on mute? Okay. Anybody else clearly understood the problem behind using variable? Should we continue property today? It's 9 o'clock. Should we continue next class? Or should I take 5 more minutes and finish it? Okay, okay, all right. So now you just understood the problem scenario behind using the variable. It is in front of you. If I'm making it public, full access. If I'm making it private, no access. But we want partial access. That means should be able to see, should not be able to modify. Lot of situations will come in future, guys, where you should be should allow to user to see, but should not allow to user to modify. So now let's see how property is going to solve this problem. There are two levels of property knowledge. One is direct understanding, one is indirectly using the property for some other purpose. So at least today I will tell you how that property is going to help this variable called establish year and organization name. Okay, I said there are two use of property. One is use cases, I can say. One is helping other variable to be exposed with read only. The one which we just now discussed, the scenario. Another scenario is being used independently. That means I will not use variable, I will use property. That is called second one. Being used independently instead of using variable. Now first scenario, let's apply now. More than 5 minutes it will not take. So what I will do, first scenario what says, please help other variable which is to be exposed as read only. Exposed as read only. So what is our case here? Our case is please use one property which will help my establish your variable to be used as read only. So what I will do, I will quickly create one property here. You can create it below also, no issue. Public. Property will be public because helping element itself will not be exposed means it is gone, you know. This is like a helping element now. So public integer. If it is going to help establish year and establish as integer, then it should be also integer. Then you give a name. I gave capital EST year because C# is case sensitive. So small EST year and capital EST year means it will understand two different things. So to understand this is helping to this EST year, I made it EST year. Otherwise you can give XYZ anything also. Okay, I will say organization established year. That is also fine. Something related to that variable name you should have. And inside this, there is something called get block. GET, get. And give one more curly bracket. Then see here return that helping variable. Means whom you want to help as read only. Just read this line and understand what I did. I made it public because property itself should be accessed outside the class. I made it integer because this is property going to help this established year to be exposed. And get, there are two blocks comes maximum. One is get, one is set. But today we are not learning about set. Set is independent property. second category. Next class we will see. But today we are seeing helping element. Means this property is going to help this guy called establisher to be exposed as read only. Okay. So now what I will say whoever is using this organization establisher property, I will say this is a property which is helping ESTER variable to be exposed as read only. I didn't make it private, guys. I will make it sorry, I didn't make it public. I will make it private only. I will make it private only. But I will make a property for that, which will help that variable called private variable to be exposed as read only. So see how it is behaving. If you understood for establisher, if you will understand for organization name also. Same thing can be applied. I mean, one more property can be used for organization name. So come here and say, instead of using ESTER in small letter, you use my organization ESTER property name. Absolutely fine. Now, if you try to modify that data, so I'm deleting that organization name, guys, because if you are understanding establisher, you will understand organization name also same manner. Have a look. Read is allowed. Write is not allowed. That means whatever default data of organizations established here, you are using property, and property is indirectly returning to that private variable. But the moment you are trying to modify, this will say no, you are not allowed to modify. If you will take the mouse here, easily it can tell you. Just read the last line. Property or indexer this cannot be assigned to because it is read only. Okay. So did you get something better? Just using simply variable versus using a variable with one helping element called property. Second facility, what we say, I don't have any variable. I want to make one independent property. It is not an helping element, not just a helping element, rather it is one independent element. That we'll see next class. But whether you understood, are you able to identify our problem with our solution? If I will ask you do same thing for organization, what will you do? Obviously you will remove this public word because you don't want to expose organization name directly as read as well as write. So I removed public. Then I will make one more in helping element called something like my organization name. I will say get. Inside this I will say return small org name. Now if you will come here, same thing if you are applying for organization name also, it will tell you no problem, you can discuss organization name, but you cannot modify organization name. If you are using property also you cannot modify. If you are using variable also you cannot, because variable anyway it is private. So XYZ limited. Read is allowed, write is not allowed, or modification is not allowed. So with the help of property, now you got all three variety of needs, whatever our requirement was. Yeah, question. You have any? Yep. See, first of all, if you are using getter set, that is called property. And if you are not using get and set, that is called variable. Be very clear. Okay. So variable is the real field for our class. If you are using only property, okay, in fact these things I used to explain in second point, but still if you are asking, I will tell you. If you are using only get and set or only get like that, that is called purely property. It is not at all a variable. So if it is a purely property, it has two ways. Either it is helping one variable to be exposed as read only, or it is being used as independently. Okay. So by chance if you are using only get and it is not at all returning anything, so you have to write some hard coded data here, something like please return 56, please return 100, something like that. Okay, that is again something called hard coded information. But if you are connecting with a variable, what the benefit you will get, you can ask even user to enter that data. That is the benefit, where property will get connected with a variable. But if you say yes or no, possible or not possible, answer is yes, possible. You can have one independent property with simply independent data, something like 500 or so. That time you don't need to have any related helping variable or so. Okay, so that is fine. Again, this is also read only property. It can, somebody can read that organization established here as 1500 or something or 2012, but he cannot modify this. Absolutely fine. Quick answer is yes, it is possible without taking any help of any variable or helping to variable. But again, that is called hard coded data. If it is read only, something like you don't want to give, then that is called get semicolon. Okay, if it is get semicolon, then you cannot even initialize the data here. You cannot even initialize the data here like 2014 or something. It will say, hey, it is read only. You know, if you are getting some initialized data, sorry, this is organization established here, right? So here, whatever hard coded data, only that you can get back to the user. But whenever you are using something like this, I will just control Z. Whenever you are using something like this is something, whenever required you give it access called establish here. Whenever it is required to give modification facility also, sometimes what happens, last 6 months your application is running fine at your customer's end, but suddenly they said we want modification facility also. Then if you are using this property with a link to variable, then what you can do, here you just put a set block. Okay, so I believe you will get more clarity when you will get to know how independently one property can be used. So next class you can get more clarity on this, but quick answer is yes, you can do. Okay, any other question, guys? Yeah, Rakesh. Not exactly, not exactly, because this is a completely different type of data member. This is totally different type of data member. Okay, this is called variable when you don't have at all any get or set block. Okay, and whenever you have any get set like that, it may have only get or it may have get and as well as set, like set tomorrow we'll see. That is called a property. So both are two different fields altogether. Okay, now you ask, you cannot say it is having get internally. You cannot say that, because the moment you make public, it is having read as well as write permission. That is the feature of a variable simply. So feature of a variable is either it will be fully accessed or it will be no access. Feature of a property is having three levels: fully access, no access, read only access. No, no. That's why you can see naming convention also little bit differently I gave. Here every letter will be first letter capital, but local variables mostly it will be toggle case. That means first letter will be small, then every word first letter will be capital. Okay. So totally two different component altogether. So one is having only two facility, other one is having three facility. Is that clear? Any other question, guys? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Possible. Otherwise you will your property will not be all rounder, na? Okay. That means you have to get a set, give a set block here. So I don't want to be hurry to go everything at a time. So when we will learn set block, possibility is there. Okay. So you can expose a variable with the help of property and provide both get as well as set. That is what I said. Suppose last 6 months project is running in market and your customer might have told it should be read only, but suddenly after 6 months they said, Array, it should be read as well as write. Can you please help me? So that time you cannot delete this property and use the variable, right? Everywhere you have to change across the application. Wherever capital org establish here, there you have to go and make small est. That is not a good idea. So they have something called set block also. Okay. So if you will simply, can you see here? It is showing error. Establish here saying error for modification. But the moment you put a set block here, something like this, you will say, small est here equal to value. The moment you do that, now it will say no problem. You can expose other variables with read as well as read and write. But the use case is perhaps at the beginning of the project your requirement was read only, but after some days requirement become read as well as write. That is the use case. But at the beginning of the project, if they have said it will always in future read as well as write, then no need for that property. Directly you either go for variable or directly go for property, no need for variable. That means no need for linking between both of them. Okay. So that is allowed as well. Yep. Yep. Usually that is called seniority. Difference between 2 years experience and 5 years experience. So by understanding the requirement, you should be quickly able to understand, okay, this is a data. Today my customer is saying it is, full access. Maybe tomorrow my customer may say, uh, please remove the modification access. Then what I will do? If it is initially read only, later on they say please give write, then it's easy. You just go and put a set block here, right? But initially they said full access, but unfortunately because of full access, just to made it like organization address, after some days they said, hey, organization address I want read only. Then you are gone. If you are going to create one more property, then everywhere, wherever your property variable might have used, everywhere you have to visit and replace to some other either variable, some other property or so. So that time you should think that, hey, who believes to these customers here? Today they are saying full access after 6 months or 1 year. Suddenly they will make a phone call and they will expect it in 10 minutes. They will say, hey, it is just a permission to be removed or permission to be granted. I cannot give you 15 days for this. 2 hours maximum I can give you. Can you do it for me? So that thought should come in your mind at the beginning just by listening the requirement. So quickly, even though a single variable could have done that, just like address, a single variable, no property could have been done that, but still you thought it in that way and you thought, no worry, I will take a variable I will make it public also, no worry, because today they want it full access. But I will make a related property for that also. So make that property public, make this variable private. That is the best choice. So going forward also in your projects, if there are 10 data, if you are senior guy, you should think out of this 10 data, which data are having scope of changes in the read to write to read only, write only, read as well as write, which are all those data having the scope. If that much level you are not able to think, I will suggest go for everything flexibility, so that if user is, in fact, there will be somebody senior to review your code, right? So if you have missed something, your senior should indicate that, hey, you have taken this variable purely. Today you have taken public because their requirement is full access. But can you give guarantee that after 6 months they will not make a just phone call and they will say today 4 p.m. onwards we want to restrict this permission? What you will do in that case? So your senior may be indicating those things to you, and then you have to make it no problem. I will take one property, one variable, but if it is related information, I will make that private and I will make it public. Or you can say, forget about variable. I will take a public property and I will make it independent property, so that today it is get as well as set. If tomorrow they want to restrict it, we can restrict, or if they want to allow set block, you can allow the set block. So this kind of understanding you should have at the beginning. Okay. So that is called, experience. Otherwise, also property, one 10 years guy also knows property. What is the difference? They conceptualize the requirement with use of property, but if somebody will tell you use the property, then you will use the property. So that is the difference. So slowly how quickly you can get that idea that when to use property, when to use variable, when to use both, that will be taking you to that level. Okay.